Well, hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Live stream today. Everybody knows that Typhoon Rae just went through the central part of the Philippines. I've seen pictures of Legazpi and some video of what's been going on down there. We really pray for these people that have to be there, that are part of this typhoon area. But guess what? We got another one coming. Right now it's just a tropical storm, and this is Siani. It says here on the Cagayan Post, Tropical Storm Siani is now inside the Philippine area of responsibility and threatens the province of Cagayan and Batanes. Below is the detailed data from Pagasa Dost and a photo of forecast tracked by the Japan Meteorological Society. Severe weather bulletin number 1 for Tropical Storm Siani, Philippines. Atsani, I think is the other name. Tropical cyclone alert issued at 11 a.m. 1st of November 2020. Tropical Storm Siani slightly intensifies, is now inside the Philippine area of responsibility. Siani entered the Philippine area of responsibility at 8 a.m. on the 1st. It is forecast to move generally northwestward until Monday evening, then slowly west-southwestward by Tuesday. It remains less likely to affect any portion of the country over the next 2 to 3 days. So you got about 2 to 3 days. Location of the eye, or the center of the storm, is at 10 a.m. today. The center of Tropical Storm Siani was estimated based on all available data at 1,365 kilometers east of Central Luzon, which is at 16.0 north, 134.3 east. Strength, maximum sustained winds of 75 kilometers per hour near the center, and gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour. Movement moving west-northwestward at 30 kilometers an hour. Forecast. 24-hour tomorrow morning, 895 kilometers east of Apari, which is about 40 miles from the house in the province, at 18.0 north, 130.1 degrees east. 48-hour Tuesday morning, 785 kilometers east of Basco, Batanes. 72-hour Wednesday morning, 780 kilometers east of Cagayan, or Cagayan. 96-hour forecast, 530 kilometers east of Apari, and the 120-hour or Friday morning, 40 kilometers southwest of Cagayan. So Cagayan Valley, Tuguegarao, Gataran, Bagao, Apari, Kulit. Guys need to be ready, because this one is coming, and it will intensify as it gets closer. I don't know if this will be a super typhoon. Right now it's just a tropical storm. The Public and Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council concerned are advised to take appropriate actions and watch for the next update to be incorporated at 4 p.m. public weather forecast and the next severe weather bulletin to be issued at 11 p.m., which is today. So we got another one coming. They're giving you a warning. If you live in these areas and you know a typhoon is coming, and you know that you have shelter that just cannot stand a typhoon, or if you're in a low-lying area where it's going to flood, or if you're in an area where there's landslides, get out. It's okay to leave for a couple of days until it's over. There are places that you can go to ride out the storm. Get out. There's no need to just hang around there thinking that you are invincible or you're not going to be hurt. I'm going to tell you something. A couple of years ago, beyond Typhoon Ompong, went through Cagayan Valley. I mean, it just roared through Cagayan Valley. That typhoon, the center, the eye of the storm, right at the eye, the winds are its greatest. And that's where it's most dangerous as far as wind damage goes. The eye of the storm passed right over the house in Coolidge. I mean, right over. Dead center. And I thank God that house stood. And when the house was designed, as you know, as I explained to Tata Yarnell, my brother-in-law, when the house was being built, I explained to him, this house needs to be able to withstand a Category 5 or a super typhoon, direct hit. And it stood. I mean, this house is solid concrete. It's got a 3.5 foot high foundation it sits on. Everything is concrete. The hollow block, it has a bundle of rebar, not just one piece of rebar going through it. It's got a bundle of rebar, as they call it their room bar. It's got a bundle of them. And each individual block in the hole is filled with cement. This is a solid house. The roof is not a high roof. It's not like that. It's more like this, and it's what's called an umbrella roof. So it's got a low profile, so the winds do not hit against something solid. You got something like this, the winds will hit it and buff it. And so the house was designed to withstand that kind of typhoon. The only thing that was damaged on the house was a piece of guttering that we have around the house. A piece of the guttering came off or got loose. That's been repaired, that's been fixed. I have since told Arnell that, and I told him yesterday, we got another one coming. So what you need to do is to get up on that roof, check for loose nails, and not loose snails, loose nails. Get up there, check the roof. I have ordered, and I'm still waiting on roofing screws that have little gaskets on them already that they can replace the nails with as the nails become loose. So hopefully in the next couple of days he's going to get up there and check it out, because once the roof goes, that's it. That's all that's left to be said. When Ompong came through, the only thing that flew away was the duck and chicken house. That flew away. We don't even know where it's at. And so, but I have seen, but I tell you what, there were some people who were just barely lucky. I mean, we built this house solid to withstand a typhoon. We did not skimp on the cost, because we wanted the best material that we could get. And so that's why the house survived. You know, it took a total of 3 years in building, and a lot of patience just to be able to get it right. And so I know a lot of people just do not have, you know, the financial capabilities to be able to do that. But, you know, it is still, even if you don't have the full financial capabilities to be able to build something like that, you still can build. Instead of spending money on cigarettes, instead of spending money on alcohol, instead of spending money on things that just don't matter, you know, watch how you spend your money. You know, that's how rich people become rich. They can start off dirt poor, live on the ground underneath a banana tree. But they can go from being that to being rich. It's just how you manage your money. And everybody in the family get involved. Everyone get involved. There's no reason that if you are physically able to work, why you cannot work. There's all kinds of work to do. You know, I was a soldier for 20 years. That's where my pension comes from. But you can, no matter, I've seen the resourcefulness of the Filipino people, and they can make do with just about anything. They can find work where there is no work. So you can't have people just sitting around the house expecting, you know, someone to hand them money. You got to get out and work for it. And if it means going out into the jungle and collecting papaya and selling it to the market, hey. If it means being a harvester and go out and harvesting, you know, when it's time for harvest, that's what it is. If it means taking care of other people's cows, you know, there's a good thing that happens on this. The cow caretaker, at least the way it's done here, is when the cow gives birth, he gets that first cow. Then when the cow gives birth again, the owner of the cow gets the cow. And it's a trade-off, back and forth. And if a person instead of having that cow taken and butchering it that they get, if they would just be patient, they can build up a big herd themselves. And then they can sell full-grown cattle at a higher price instead of just butchering the cow for that moment there. There are all kinds of ways to make money. Got native chickens everywhere. You can capture them, clip the flight wings so that they can't fly away. You can corral them in an area where they can't go anywhere. And you can raise chickens, ducks. Like I said, go out and start your own papaya plantation on the land that you're on. And as you get money, you can build on that. You can go from a nipa hut to a brick house or a hollow block house, within a couple of 3 years. Now, I understand everybody's got money. They need money for school, for clothing, and stuff like that. That is money you need. That is money you need. You just take and put that for your needs. The rest of it, put it away. If everybody in the households, in the family, will get to work, and it doesn't matter how what the job is. You can be a domestic helper, you can be a babysitter, you can wash clothes, you can do all kinds of things to still earn money. You don't have to go to the city to find a job. You can create there a business. So, for example, you got the chickens and you're starting a hatchery. There's an income. You got a piggery. Create a piggery. There's an income. If you've got cows, there's an income. If you are a harvester, someone who goes out on the harvest, well, some of your pay on that, get some seed corn and start planting seed corn for you. There's all kinds of ways to make it work, and all kinds of ways to be able to just get it done. And let's see here. I'm monitoring the live stream. I realize there's nobody on right now, so I'm just talking to myself. But in a lot of ways, we got to think beyond the traditional way of doing things. You have to think out. That's like a box. Tradition is like a box. You have to think outside of that box, and start doing it that way. If it means working longer hours, if it means working until you're bone tired, sometimes that's what it takes. And you just have to be able to want to do it. Nothing is free. Everything requires work. but you don't have to necessarily get a job at McDonald's to have work. They don't pay very good anyways. It's just a job. If you hear that little trickle sound, that's my ice machine making ice. But anyways, I just wanted to bring this up. We have a typhoon that's gone through the Philippines, and I don't know how this got here. Anyways, we have a typhoon, Raleigh, that just went through. And it's devastating everything in its path. Really high winds. It looks like it's so tight that it's mostly just wind. I haven't seen any, excuse me, got a really dry throat today. I haven't seen any water damage yet, pictures or video. When Ampong came in, man, we saw water, we saw flooding and Bagow and all kinds of places. But over where the came over the house is mostly wind, and because it's the outer bands of the typhoon. Here's the center. The outer bands is where all the rain is. Get some iced tea here. But anyways, I just wanted to bring it up. Pray for those people that are in need, that have gone through this. And listen, if you're in the path of the storm, batten down your house. That means if you need to go and get wood and put it up over the windows, do everything you can to protect your house. And then go to a place that's designated a evacuation center. A lot of them are elementary schools or high schools or something like that, where those are pretty solid buildings. Go to the evacuation center and wait it out. I know that right now all of this with COVID-19, all of this is just, it kills the status quo of what is or what you need to do to be safe, from COVID-19. Well, guess what? COVID-19 is not going to go away. It's here forever. We can thank the Chinese for that, the Chinese Communist Party. We can thank them for that. They're the ones that created this whole problem. And then they unleashed it on the world to cause chaos within the world. It was done for a reason. And so we just need to just understand this disease is not going to go away. The flu is here forever. COVID-19 is here forever. There is no, for bacterial infections like tuberculosis and smallpox, things like that, there's no cure for it. There's no vaccine. There's a vaccine for smallpox, but you're taking another kind of pox in order to immunize yourself. You know what? It might be a better thing just to let people develop natural immunities to the COVID-19 through just catching it. And especially the women, because you can pass on those immune properties to your children through breastfeeding. So it's in the Philippines they breastfeed. I mean, it's just there. You know, in the Western world they don't breastfeed anymore. It's like they just don't have the patience for it. But in the Philippines and in Southeast Asia, everybody breastfeeds their children. And when you catch a disease and you survive it, well, the woman carries within her the antibodies to fight off that disease. And she passes it through to the infant through her milk. And so think about that. You know, that's called herd immunity. It's like a big group of people get an immunity just by being exposed to it. And, you know, it's just like me. All my siblings had the chicken pox. My cousins had the chicken pox. My neighborhood kids growing up had the chicken pox. I was the only one that was breastfed. And I had an immunity to it already, just simply because I was breastfed. So you can understand what I'm trying to say. I never had the chicken pox. Ever. And while everybody else around me did. I had the measles. I had the German measles, the red measles, you know, mumps, you know, all those kind of things. But I never caught the chicken pox. And I was around them all the whole time. Especially when they were contagious. I think my parents wanted me to be around it, so I'd go ahead and just get it and get it over with. But what I need people to understand is, with this typhoons coming like this, you know, COVID-19 isn't such a bad thing. You know, because you're going to catch it either way. It's not going to make any difference how you protect yourself. If you're going to catch it, you're going to catch it. A friend of mine, his wife in Bohol, caught it, and she did all the right things. So, I mean, wearing a mask, a face shield, you know, practically looking like a nun, you know, all covering herself up and everything like that, and she still caught it. So it's, if you're going to catch it, you're going to catch it. And the typhoon is more dangerous. It kills people quickly. It devastates quickly. You know, within 2 days, as it goes through the Philippines, it wreaks absolute havoc on everything and everyone. So just take the precautions for yourself and your families. You know, go to a place that is solid, that you know is typhoon sound. It will withstand a typhoon. Go there and do that. Well, this is Robert. God bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and give you peace, now and forever. Amen.